Hey there guys, we're going to be going to the final boss now of Dark Visions 24. This is Dullahan, a Reaper weak to Ice, Lightning, or Dark. We're going to go with an Ice Dark team, as you can see here. Now, one of the big headaches of this boss is he will ambush you with a 200% Dark Imperil and a Dark fixed nuke attack. There's a few ways to deal with this. You can auto Omni cover it with Red Wing Cecil shifted form. That'll auto cover, then only he needs any dark resist. Or you could use a unit that automatically buffs dark resist during the ambush. That would be Red Wing Cecil does that as well. Lilith, Pearl, and Seymour can all automatically buff dark resist by 200% during the ambush. We're using Lilith to handle that. The other option is to gear your party in 300 dark resist, or just take the damage and take the penalty. We're going to be using Lilith. So let's get in here and do a clear. I'll put the turn chart in the comments, etc. And I'll explain stuff as I go. So here's the ambush. We're imperiled and then a dark attack, but we're wearing 100 dark resist, and Lilith automatically buffed us, so immune. Now we are still imperiled, so we're going to normal attack Ayaka. That's going to cure the imperils, so the attack on turn 3 doesn't bother us. Okay, so now we're going to use Regina to Magic Supply Extension. That's going to get her, or Expansion. That's going to get her cannon ready for later. We can just guard Olive on this turn. We're going to use Frievia to end guard, pressure, and flick. We're going to use Golbez to do Jet Black Spirit. That's from his STMR armor. That's the Reaper Killer version to do a Reaper buff on the party. And Lilith, one more thing of this boss is he does a single target non-elemental magic attack every turn. It can be reflected, sealed, or you could just mitigate it. We're going to be reflecting it. Now, the reflect ring is by far the best way to do it, but we're not going to use that because we don't need it. You don't have to use it, and people don't like me using the reflect ring. We're going to use Mirror of Shatal instead, and if you don't have that, you can use things like Ash's STMR, Nethicite, etc. You only need one stack per turn, but we're going to use Mirror of Shatal. That's from a recent event, so it's pretty recent, so people should have that. So here's the attack. It bounces back. And then there's, that's whatever on turn. That's all he does on turn 1. So turn 2, we're going to go Frievia to the base form. We're going to put up the Ice Field and then triple cast Bolting. Now we want to deal some damage to the boss. We got to get the boss under 50% health by turn 4. So as long as on turn 4 or sooner, he's under 50%, you're fine. So we're going to do a little bit of chip damage for the next few turns. We're not going to chain on the boss or anything because we don't want to kill him. Just get him under 50 by the 4th turn. We can guard Olive. It's whatever. Let's go ahead and do the LB of Ayaka. That's going to get her modifiers buffed. Let's use the base LB of Regina to get her modifiers buffed. And we can start focusing on Golbez. So we're going to magic boost. Lilith can just reload and do Reflecting Armor again. Now, every even turn, the boss does a physical attack. So here we go. We're auto-covering the physical with Lilith. So all the physical stuff we can ignore. If you don't have, or if you're not using Lilith, you can mirage that with 1,000 Needles or someone in the party's cooldown. But we're auto-covering it with an evasion Lilith because, it's easier. This turn, Regina can just guard. We're going to be killing on turn 5. Golbez can just focus yet again. Frievia is going to do, this turn, we're going to do her Magnus and then just some Boltings. Again, just to chip in a little bit of damage. We're going to do the SLB of Olive. Don't chain these. We're going to wait a minute. That's going to put up a 90 break. It'll still be there on turn 5, which is going to be our kill turn. We're going to use Ayaka to do her 100 Amplify Presence for everyone. We're going to do Good Tidings for the magic buff for the party. And then a double Carol of Snow. A little bit of damage here. It might push the boss under 50. If so, great. If not, that's fine. We'll do it next turn. Lilith, again, Mirror of Shatal to reflect. Now this turn is an AoE fixed dark attack again, but there's no imperil with it. So here we go, and we're immune. It did disease us, though. Disease is a headache. So we're going to use Lilith to Panacea to get rid of that disease. That's from Riku's pouch. Now remember, the Mirror of Shatal is a double stack reflect. We still got a reflect stack remaining, which is why I'm using that. If you're not using that, you're using like Nethicite or something, then someone else would need a Nethicite this turn. Or depending on your Provoker's bulk, you can just eat the damage this turn. It should be under 5k, but it depends on your gear and all that. So we're going to go ahead and SLB Regina to get her modifier buff. We're going to SLB Ayaka to get her ready. We still got to push the boss under 50%. So we're going to go ahead and use Frievia to quad. Now we want to end Frievia last action as her Magnus. So we're just going to, whoops, we're just going to triple bolting and then use her Magnus as the last action. There we go. So now the boss is under 50% on turn 4. If we didn't, we could use, Olive to cap it as well, but we're good. So Olive is just going to use her Magnus to focus for next turn. And Golbez, once again, magic boost. Now again, even turns, the boss does use AoE physical. We're covering the physical with Lilith, which makes it nice and convenient because that means Golbez won't counter. If you're using Mirage, your Golbez may counter, it'll eat up his focus, it'll kind of ruin your day. But, if someone's covering the physical attacks, the other people will not be countering them. So there we go, Lilith is doing that. We're not countering Golbez. Outstanding. Now it is time to kill the boss. So we've got Golbez's killer buff. Notice he's at 450 killer. The boss has a 90 break at negative 185 ice resist. We are good to go. So we're going to go ahead and Meteor Golbez. Now, as far as Regina, Lilith's damage is pretty low. It's going to be more damage for her to just give her turn to Regina. So we're going to use Fire Cannon Fire on Regina this turn. Now, you could use it during the chaining. We don't need to. So just to make sure we do it properly, we're just going to do it ahead of time. So there we go. Regina is going to use Regina Cannon Final. Ayaka is going to use her 150 Magnus dashing through the snow. And then we're going to use just the Vision card to chain on Olive and Frievia. Now, I know Olive's SLB is more damage, but we need an Extreme Nova partner. Again, Lilith could do that, but Lilith's damage is so low, it's more beneficial to have Lilith just give her turn to Regina and have Olive just use the Vision card. It's also less headache because we don't have to fill Olive's LB twice in a row. Well, actually just once, I guess, but on turn 2. Anyway, so there it is. So we're going to go ahead and chain it up. Now the chaining is a little wonky here. We're going to use Golbez first. Now the boss is already completely debuffed, which is kind of nice. So we don't have to worry about the timing of the chains. Just make sure they're capped. So we're going to use Golbez first. We're going to wait just a moment. Then we're going to send Regina. Then we're going to send the rest of the chainers. So Golbez, we're going to wait. Regina, wait just a moment, and then send the rest of the chainers. And this should be, hopefully, a proper cap. There it is. And we're looking for a good damage score. Let's see what we get. 11.7. Not bad. That seems to be somewhere pretty slightly above my average. My calculations, I can go as high as like 13 something, but that's perfect variance. It'll never happen. So there we go. There is my clear. Here's the breakdown. So, Golbez always MVP. The boss is very thick, by the way, so you're not going to be dealing a ton of damage. Like, the high-end clears are going to be doing, like, maybe 20 billion, if that. My clear, I'm happy with my clear. 11 something is fine for me. It's an as long as I stay top 1,000, I'm fine. But there's Regina, based on my calculations, about average variance. Golbez, slightly under. He underperformed there. Big sad face. Ayaka, 2.8. She is doing more than should be possible. Maybe I did the math wrong. It's possible. Olive is doing about average, and Frievia is doing right on average. Yeah, so Golbez is low, and Ayaka is calculated to be higher than possible. I'm wondering why that is. I'm not entirely sure. Whatever. I apparently got a modifier wrong somewhere. I have to go check later. But there it is. So there's my clear. Rank 6 at the moment. That'll drop over time. So here is the clear. Now I have a team plan for physical. I have like a physical Thunder team planned with like near units, etc. Based on my calculations, that team does less than this one, so, you know, with my gear, with my units, etc. Obviously, other people's gear and units may be different. You know, that might be a better option, but from my calculations, my physical team was not as good. I might still run it and record it anyway, just for the completion's sake, but it wasn't as good as this one. Anyway, here's the team we use. I'll show you the gear. So, Regina is, you know, just damage versus undead. She has 300 undead killer naturally, which is awesome. There we go. Chain cap up with indestructible, because she's basically got free slots. And the whole party has 100 or better dark resist. There we go. She's maxed on everything. Lilith is our passive provoker. I'm not sure why I geared her something dark. She doesn't need it. All she needs is 100 dark resist. Passive provoke, evasion. She auto covers the physical. Riku's pouch for panacea. Mirror of Shatal for the double stack reflect. Right here, this gives us 2 stack reflect. That way we don't have to cast it every single turn. Now, if you have the reflect ring, that is significantly better. You know, the reflect ring is perfect. You set it, you forget it. It's perfect. You just wear it, you're done. Don't gotta do anything. But I didn't want to use that because we don't have to. We did fine without it. And yeah, there it is. She was just a 200 dark resist for the ambush, and she auto covered the physical, and then she gave her turn to whatever. Now, honestly speaking, you could drop Lilith entirely and bring like another real damage dealer, and then like gear your party and more. It'd be a big headache. I don't want to deal with it. Like, I didn't want to gear the entire party of mostly SLB units in 300 dark resist. That would not be fun. So I brought Lilith. Golbez, we are using his spirit armor because the spirit version does undead killer. 150 undead killer after a 3-turn delay, so it's there on turn 4, and that's where we got the killer from. Now, you might be saying Lilith can do undead killer as well with her Magnus. That's not entirely accurate because Lilith's killer buff is physical only. She does not buff magical undead killer, and we need magic killer for Regina and Ayaka. So Lilith, not that good of a unit. Just to be honest here, you know, she doesn't buff killers properly. Golbez does. So there we go. Oh, and as far as Golbez's gear, Meteor gear, so Meteor card, Focus, Undead Killer, and then 100 or better Dark Resist, and he's maxed, you know, maxed on everything, maxed Reaper, etc. And there we go, 6,300 magic. Ayaka is maxed on Undead Killer. She's got 100 or better. I'm not sure why she's got 150. All you needed is 100, but whatever. 100 Dark Resist, maxed on everything. There it is, etc. Just a generic magic card, and then maxed magical Reaper Killer, and yep, she does our 100 Ice Amplify. Olive is using the chain card, the garden card, because it's too much headache to make her do her LB, and then it's a big headache. I didn't want to deal with it. The card does nearly the same damage and significantly less stress. So there we go. And then here we go, 500 focus from her, 100 dark resist, maxed out on physical Reaper Killer. The card does use physical killers, keep that in mind. And there we go. There's the build, there's the setup, chain cap with that. Free Ivy, pretty much the same thing. Maxed damage with the card. If you don't have the card, you know, you can use Olive to like cap or something like that and just give one of them a card. If you don't have 2 cards. There it is. Shift form, irrelevant, you know, dark resist, etc. And then that's it. That's the whole party. Now, as far as EX levels, EX2 is fine on Ayaka. So there it is. So Ayaka and Regina, EX2, not a problem. I'm doing a turn 5 clear. Actually, EX2 would be fine on everyone. You could even go to turn 6. No one here is using a turn 5 or less damage buff. So go to turn 6, go to turn 12, go to turn 47, whatever makes you happy. So EX levels shouldn't really matter that much here. There's my clear. Turn chart to me in the comments. That's Dark Visions 24. And if I get bored, I'll run that physical team too, but it won't be as good as this one. Anyway, see you later.